So I recently got into trading stocks. Ooh. Buy and hold, buy and hold. Hola, I'm Riza. And all jokes aside, don't worry, my index funds are at least positive. So today we are here to discuss my brother, the older one. My first introduction to stocks and Bitcoin was by him. This was at least 4 years ago, and my older brother started reading a lot of books on the stock market and told us he started trading Bitcoin. I remember one night when we were on vacation, he had an alarm on his phone that went off in the middle of the night for him to check the price of Bitcoin. He made sure to sell all of his Bitcoin before a big crash and used all the money to pay off his student loan debt, which I always thought was really cool. I asked him recently if he was still into trading stocks, and he doesn't have any money in them right now, but still keeps tabs on them. Unlike my sister, my little brother, and I, my older brother is only an Australian citizen, and 2 years ago he moved there and did not renew his US permanent resident visa, so I haven't seen him in a while. Growing up, my older brother introduced me to a lot of cool things: Legos, games, Nerf guns, anime, and Doctor Who, of course. He also had a tradition of pretending to throw us down the stairs, and sometimes we actually push each other down the stairs. You know, casual sibling playtime. He kept to himself a lot. Unlike the rest of us siblings, he always had his own room, and spent most of his time in there. I actually use his room as my office now. We played Super Smash Bros. Melee on the GameCube, and then we switched to the Wii, because my little brother broke Super Smash Bros. Brawl, so we went to the old one that's better. And we would all race on Mario Kart DS. That's where most of my gaming experience comes from. He was also one of the earliest users of Roblox, then introduced my sister and I to it. We made a lot of memories playing the extremely old games together. Another gaming moment is I watched my older brother play Portal 1 when it was new, and I found it all so interesting. My sister came in to watch the ending and found it really creepy. Years later, I forgot most of Portal lore and never saw anything about the second game, so I bought both. Then both of my best friends watched me play through both, and I had so much nostalgia and deja vu when I finished the game, because I remembered watching the ending for the first time next to my brother when I was really little, and I barely understood what was going on then. Portal has got to be one of the best playthrough experiences I've ever had. As a closet weeb, my brother was the first person I revealed my love of anime to. I remember going into his room and suggesting Steins Gate for him to watch, and then he told me that was his favorite anime. And then he suggested to me that I watch Clannad and a few other anime. He told me Clannad was the saddest anime of all time, which is true. And I remember going downstairs and seeing him in the kitchen and telling him all about how the first 10 episodes were just so sad, but he had already forgotten what happened at the beginning, so I knew hell was coming soon. For my birthday, he got me anime merch for Noragami, which was my favorite anime at the time, and I still use the backpack. When Hunter x Hunter became my favorite anime, he gifted me Hunter x Hunter manga for Christmas. I also remember he once stepped out of his room and threw a card at the wall like Hisoka while my little brother and I were talking, and it actually stabbed the wall and stuck out like in the anime. Then my little brother and I tried and failed, but it was fun. Many of the things I grew up loving were in part because of my brother. He introduced them to me, and I'm grateful he was such a positive influence on my life. To finish this off, I want to share a writing prompt for my Composition 1 class from February 13th, 2020. We had to write about a defining characteristic of someone we looked up to, and I chose my brother. The most memorable trait of my older brother is his kindness. Kindness is a broad term, but that is what comes to mind when I think of him. It is funny because growing up, my siblings and I were nothing like kind to each other. We would hurt each other, say mean things to each other, tie each other up, throw each other down the stairs, yet I don't look back at those memories with anger or hatred. Growing up, none of us just didn't know how to love. It's true those things happened, and I remember them, but they are nothing compared to what my older brother taught me. One of my oldest memories of him was when I was in 1st or 2nd grade. My parents were screaming and yelling at me to do my extra homework to improve my spelling and writing. I didn't want to do it. I hated doing it. Eventually, my dad came over, and I braced for impact. My dad prepared his hand to hit me, but my brother stopped him, and pushed my dad away. My older brother didn't say anything, but he fought my dad for me, and I never thought someone would ever do that. My older siblings were really distant when I was little. I rarely got to talk to them, and if I did, they would just want me to go away. But whenever I did get to hang out with my older brother, genuinely, it was nice. My sister and I almost always shared a room, so I have many memories with her, but my older brother I rarely even got to see. He's about 9 years older than me, so it's a huge age gap. He was the first adult to treat me like a person. We had an argument once on religion, but it was more like a debate, and even though I was a stupid 5th grader, he listened to me as if my words still had meaning. That was one of the kindnesses that changed my life the most, because that conversation really made an impact on who I am. I don't have many memories with him, but I have some weird ones. When my sister and I joined him watching the scariest Doctor Who episode, my sister was scared and I loved it. Then my parents came home before we got to the end and told us we were not allowed to watch it. One day when I came home from school, my brother was outside torturing ants with fire, and I joined him. Later I got my sister and my little brother to try and help me set fire to an anthill like he did. My sister was not amused with the idea. When my brother got me to like vegetables, I told him I hated them, and he replied, "Mom and Dad just don't know how to cook them right." Then he gave me a piece of broccoli that he cooked, and I liked it. Now whenever I eat broccoli, I get a nice memory of him. I won't be able to see my older brother for a long time. He lives in Australia now, and it's hard to contact him. It has been over a year since I have seen him, and I miss him. Whenever I describe my older brother, the first word that comes to mind is kind. He's the kindest person I know, and no matter what people tell me, I will always see him that way. Other words I would use to describe him is smart, because he paid off all of his student loan debt by learning stocks, and funny, because there is never a dull moment when we're together. I love all my siblings, and look up to both of my older siblings, but my older brother has always been the coolest person in my life. Thank you to my awesome older brother, and for the rest of you for watching.